All right, so just picked this up this past weekend. It is a 1990 HJ61 Landcruiser. So those of you Toyota fans and Landcruiser fans, you know the HJ stands for diesel, and this is the 12HT engine. So I'm just going to do a quick little walk around. Yes, those headlights, I got to change those out. That's first order of business. But this is in California. This is a clean example. And put it this way, we couldn't get these trucks here up until just a few years ago based on the 25-year import rule. So this has come from the Japanese market, so hence JDM for Japanese domestic market vehicle. And quite honestly, I've had one before. I had an HJ62, which I'll touch upon in a second in the big differences. But I actually picked this one up for that RTT, that rooftop tent. So I saw this past summer. I wanted to trade this guy with an 80 series that I have. If you see my channel, it's the Stormtrooper, the white one. So I said, hey, you want to trade? And I don't know what happened. We just kind of lost touch, and I ended up selling it to a pretty cool guy who loves that 80. The guy I sold it to has a GTS Panamera Porsche, and he's driving his Landcruiser all the time. He's like, he just loves that cruiser. Anyhow, back to this one. So I remembered the guy. I looked him up and I said, hey, you want to sell it? And he said, sure. So I ended up picking this up. And you notice it's black and it has some aftermarket wheels, which those aftermarket wheels look like the fancy Japanese ones, the premium wheels a little bit. But those are icons. And the bar work on this truck, so that rear bumper, the sliders, that roof rack, and the front bar, all custom made by Contreras in Tijuana, Mexico, believe it or not. And he's just renowned for Baja like armor and trucks and things that he's put on ATVs and UTVs and off-roaders. So there's about $7,000 of work on this truck just for that armor. And if you see up top, the one thing I don't like about the Japanese is model compared to the US is this goes up high because it's a high roof interior. And my FJ62, so I had a 1989, 1 year off, same body except for that roof line. So I like the way the US market Landcruisers and in Australia and the rest of the world look. But in the 61, I like how he did the bar, because you see how it tapers off near the back and then it gets a little thicker near the front, so it levels it off. So I think that custom bar is phenomenal on this truck. Okay, so, and that bar work, you can see the front, it's a little bit Delta, if you guys know the aftermarket Delta guys. So I think the previous owner sent to this Contreras custom work guy, a couple bars and said, make it look like this. And that is a functional snorkel on there too. So just outfitted great. So I used to have a FJ62, which I bought in San Diego pre-COVID, 2019 I bought it, and I paid $7,000. It had 150,000 miles, 3FE engine. I loved it. It was beautiful. It was original paint, totally patinaed on the hood and the roof. The sides were gloss and looked great. And I put 35s on it. Had a 4-inch man-free lift. So just to compare, this one has a 2-inch old man emu lift. So the 4-inch is that much bigger. This in front of us here has 33-inch tires, so 35-inch tires. It was just beautiful. But the one thing I didn't like about that 8962 was the engine. 155 horsepower. Yeah, it was fuel injection, so it was better than the early 60s. And sorry, 60 series Landcruiser lovers, but that 2H engine, moving this size of a truck is pretty underpowered, right? So, and that 155 horsepower engine also, the 3FE, was in the 80 series in the first couple years. In the 91, the 92, 80 series, it shared the same engine until they finally went to the 24 valve inline 6 4.5 liter engine, which 212 horsepower. I have one. I have an 80 series. So That engine is great for the 80, but the 3FE, anybody who bought a Landcruiser thinking, hey man, I got a Landcruiser, this is great, an 80 series, not knowing that there's an FZJ and an FJ80, the difference being that motor and some other things. I have a video on that too. So my 80 series is called Otis, but check out that high roof. So I actually get my mountain bike back here, and I get the tire in the front where it's a little lower here, the front tire, handlebars standing up. So the bike is fully standing up. I don't have to remove the tire. So pretty phenomenal. Speakers go in the back too, compared to the 60 series and the 62, because of that high roof, so they can afford some space for the rear speakers. And I'm wondering if this is aftermarket, because you'll see the upholstery in this truck is just top notch. You know, and these diesels, so again, diesel, it's the 12 HT engine. These diesels did not make it to the US market. No Toyota diesels made it out here. And I bet you it's because the big three said, they lobbied and figured out a way that they wouldn't be allowed to come in here. There's another cool feature, the wood steering wheel, the Momo. It's my daughter's favorite feature on this truck. It's just this wood is kind of like the LX 470s that have the wood. Just this wood is lacquered a gajillion times. It's just so nice. We'll crank it over here in a second. But I was just mentioning these diesels never made it to the US. Otherwise, it would have just killed the market for the big three, because these, you know, Japan was 10 years ahead of its time in the late 80s and 90s with their manufacturing and their engines and just reliability. And this thing, those engines, you know, they say 500,000 miles. I say correct that. It's about 1 million miles you can get on this 12 HT engine. And I happened to also pick up, this is my second Japanese Landcruiser this year. I traded an FJ40 for a 73 series. So a 1992 HZJ73 that I called Godzilla. I name all my trucks. This truck here, I think we're gonna call it the Menace. It's just so menacing looking. But Godzilla, my 73, has also a diesel engine, 4.2 liter, no turbo. So this is a 4-liter turbo. So this one's got a little bit more power, but I'll do a video later as I continue to drive this one to do a comparison. But I got to say this, smooth as can be. I love it. My 17-year-old daughter drives my wife's LX 570, you know, with 383 horsepower, and drove this, and she prefers this. Can you believe that? Just 220 torque. You know, this is all about torque, not about horsepower. 220 at about 1800 RPMs. So let's crank it over. Let's give her a listen. You know, it starts instantly. Oh, another thing that these 61s came with is a factory sunroof. So that sunroof just opens up to the rooftop tent, but the 60s and the 62s did not come with sunroofs. If you have one, it was done aftermarket. And all in all, clean underneath. You know, you do get body rust on these. This has rust in all the usual spots. Usually on the 60s it's there. None in the A-pillars, which was good. And then I got a spot. Usually the rain gutters get rust. None here. Rain gutters are all good. But I do have a piece under there. And there's that good old diesel sticker, 350. So my other Godzilla is 400 kg. You know, the turbo on this one just gives it a little bit of kick. This one's all equipped with lights all around. So it's got rear lights. So these up top here and down below, they light up. It's got side lights, and it's got many front light options. And what's cool about this, you know how people get the glare on their hood from bars they put? So if your bar is sitting in the open, yeah, it's gonna glare your roof. No glare whatsoever, because you can see this is recessed back. So when you do a rooftop light, that's the right way to do it. But like I said, those lights, they gotta go. I don't know what I'm gonna do about the grille. I might do it like in a gray, or maybe the same color as the wheels, do a gold for the front grille. So stay tuned. I'm gonna do some cool stuff. I'm gonna do some, in this inset here along the whole side, I'm gonna do some decals, but make it modern yet, you know, pay homage to the look of Landcruiser back in the day, because they did a lot of colorful stickers. So let's check out that engine. And my God, again, I bought this truck for the rooftop tent. My daughter has fallen in love with this truck, so I think she's gonna drive it. Dual Optima batteries. I haven't cleaned the engine yet, but I will. Look at this, looking nice. But it's already, I mean, it's dirty, you know, it's a 20, how many years old is this? 29, yeah, so this is a 31-year-old car. Again, you know, 5-6 years ago, you never see these here, illegal. But with the 25-year import rule, these are starting to come in. Coming from Japan, the Aussies, so the guys down under, good luck ever trying to get one of those, because those are so popular. Landcruisers and Australians go hand in hand, so they're never gonna sell their diesel trucks to come to the US. So the only real opportunity to get these is coming from Japan, not from Australia. I'm sure the Australians will be like, you can grab that from my cold dead hands, cranky. No way, mate, you ain't getting my Landcruiser. So I'll post, you know, so again, I got it for the rooftop tent. I was going to put it on my 80, and you can check out my 80 on the channel. It's very, very equipped. Sleeve bumpers, all the fixins, Icon 3-inch lift and all that, adjustable. So I was going to put that on my 80, but now I'm thinking, hell no, I'm going to take this on that off-road trip. The low-end torque, you know, 4-wheel drive, front hub lockers, center locker. I'll take this on that trip. So I'll document that trip and share, and I'll post a comparison of the two diesel engines, that 4.2 and this 4.0 turbo. So yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. Check out those other trucks. I'm all Landcruisers, so all my videos are Landcruisers from 40, 60, 80, 100, 200. No 300, unfortunately. We ain't getting those here in the US, but maybe one day an LX 600, we'll see. But my wife is still putting miles on the 570. All right, well, comment if you got questions. I always reply to all comments, and boy, these trucks will just go up in value, folks, especially the diesel. Like, Americans just do not know the Toyota diesels, just how flippin' amazing they are. And they go, million miles, I tell you. So if you're in the market for a Landcruiser, I say snatch it up while you can. You won't regret it. You'll love it. And check out my videos. I compare LXs to, like, an LX 470 to a 100, a 570 to a 200, an 80 to a 100. I've kind of crisscrossed the whole map between the different models. So if you're ever stuck between two, check out my videos. All right. So if you don't already have a Landcruiser and you're thinking about it, don't waste your time anymore. Go get it right away. Get yourself a Landcruiser. All right. Peace out.